Imagine what you could learn spending 40 minutes with someone who's been in the hospitality industry from the age of 9 years old. My guest this week, Christos Tsanos, is currently the CEO of George Tsanos Group and CNS, both family-owned businesses since 1972. Christos is also the chairman of the Cyprus Hotels Association in Limassol, and him and his brother Stavros, alongside their sister Nicoletta, managing and owning multiple hotel properties, but also a sports arena, a catering company, amongst other businesses. Enjoy this week's podcast as we delve into the history of how this group was set up and how his father, George Tsanos, was a pioneer in the hospitality industry of Cyprus. Welcome to the Business Mentor Podcast. I had a great chat with your brother as well, who's in the group. And I believe you got a very interesting story of how your family started in the hospitality industry. You want to tell us a bit about that and your father in the beginning?
That is true. He jumped into Limassol in 1972, coincidentally. Mm-hmm. He was a delivery person of solar heaters.
Yeah.
And his vision, standing around the Limassol area, about the Limassol development,
Yeah.
At the very end, created what we all see today and admire.
Fantastic.
George Tsanos, born in 1947, he was very strong personality. Mm-hmm. So he created the environment at Limassol, Potamos Limassol, starting from there, developing firstly the 72 three-bedroom apartments by that time, mm-hmm. with his brother. At the same time, he was a main contractor of the Thea solar heaters.
Right.
The first Cyprus-owned and manufacturing company of solar heaters in Cyprus and Greece.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So after being encouraged from the area, from the beach area, from Limassol, mm-hmm. they developed the company, they developed the apartments. Most of them have been sold. By that time, the Lebanese flow was emerging in mm-hmm. Limassol, mm-hmm. so there was a good demand. Then he flew to the States to sell the rest of the apartments. When he was back, he designed and executed the rest of the development of the group, which was initially 4 restaurants.
Yep.
4 restaurants, one live music taverna, which was on a daily basis, live music.
Oh, wow.
That was called the Klima Taverna.
Yeah.
Klima Taverna. Then he started creating differentiated products to suit to each and every customer, like the steakhouse. There was no steakhouse that time in Limassol.
Yeah.
Then he made the country pub and grill area, which was live rotisseries.
Right.
That everybody now sees in Harrods and in some restaurants in Limassol,
yeah.
in Psystaries. After that, he developed the Victorian House, the first snooker club, official snooker club in Cyprus. Victorian House, where at that place, Steve Davis, by that time, 1984, made one of his highest breaks, 136 on the snooker.
Right. Wow.
His present to my father was his...
snooker stick.
Yes,
yeah.
Thank you. So it's a very important, valuable asset for us. Then he developed the rest, the hotel, which was 36 rooms, then moved to 100 rooms in total. Restaurants have been... Unfortunately, we didn't have the chance to work with him a lot. He was very powerful, and he always advised us to being trained from other people rather than your father.
Right.
So yeah, he sent me away. Personally, myself and my brother, he sent us to different...
That's smart, because sometimes when someone is close to us, we don't listen to them. We're not coachable.
Correct. He was the powerful Limassol, Famagusta guy coming to Limassol. He was a bit aggressive with his decisions.
He had a very pioneering spirit to be opening and daring apartments, sell them to investors, and keep on reinvesting in the hospitality and restaurants that have never been in Cyprus until
Correct.
then. So that's definitely a pioneering spirit.
Yeah, he also opened, launched the first cafe in Limassol after the war, which was in the Makarios Avenue.
Yeah, which is pretty much the central street of
Limassol,
right?
At that time, this Café Paris.
Yeah.
Paris was opened by my father.
Yeah.
He really had the spirit, the vision. He wanted to do that, and we were born into that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah. The first time he asked me to go to work, he woke me up at 7:45. I was 9 years old. He said to me, "You need to come with me at the beach bar," because that time Limassol coastal line, has only two ports. Two port areas for the speedboats, the ski instructors, the swimming area. It was the Azure Beach Bar, which was at the front line. And currently, what is located now, Columbia Beach, was, I forget the name, I cannot recall the name by that time. So there was only two places to go for swimming.
Right.
So he woke me up, he explained to me, you need to go and collect all the empty bottles from the beach. I said, me? Yes, start with me now.
90 years old.
So that was the first time I collected empties for Coca-Cola, for soft drinks.
Yeah.
I'm mentioning the name because everybody was drinking that, the soft drinks by that time.
Yeah.
Collecting all these bottles. Continued to be one of my daily tasks.
Yeah.
I was working every summer, 90 days.
90 days, the whole summer, you were
Whole
working
summer,
in the summers.
day and night.
Wow.
Morning at the beach, closing the bar, going to set up the restaurants, because the restaurants are very close proximity, 15 meters from each other, as you know, the tourist area, which is opposite the main hotel now called Cyprus Hotel. So I used to do this task every day. But I could never realize that he kept always the money returned from these empties in an envelope for me.
Amazing.
He never gave me this money.
Yeah.
Only 10 days before he passed away, he called his accountant and he said, give the envelope to Christos. And he converted the Cyprus pounds to euro.
Yeah.
And in 2013, 1st of November, he called me in his room because he couldn't move. He gave me 6,500 euro. This was a collection of the empties.
Wow.
So that time the empties of a bottle was 1.5 cents. So you can do the maths.
Yeah, that's a man
This
with
is
a
not so
long-term
important
vision.
for people. It's very important for me, knowing from where everything starts and where it ends in some points of hospitality.
Absolutely.
That's the start to explain to you how he created. He wanted to do it. He dreamed of it, and he made it the truth. And then here the Triangle Disco comes, the most famous disco in Cyprus until now, Triangle Disco.
Yeah.
And everybody was asking him, why did you name it Triangle? And he was holding his hand or her hand, and he said, stand here so you can see the apartments, the disco, and the hotel. So it's a triangle.
So what are some of the biggest lessons he taught you then? Give me one or two lessons that still stay with you.
One of the most important lessons that I carry with me always is loyalty. I haven't been loyal to him at once, and he realizes that, and I try to escape from the wording, from the explanation, from the expression. I had to lie to him. And then he said to me, Christos, look, I grew up with this kid. I know from where you're going to get escape of. So tell me the truth. I said, but that's the truth. And he insisted. So 15, 20 years later, he called me in his office. He said to me, this is what you told me that time. But this is what happened. So you have to be loyal. I said, yeah, but you are so strict. And everybody is afraid to talk to you. He said to me, no, I'm not strict. I am consistent and disciplined because I had no father. And then he explained to me, his father, my grandfather, Christos, and passed away during surgery, the hospital of Augusta, where my father was 9 months old.
Wow.
So he never met his father. His mother was a village lady, Kyriakou, whose job was only to grow up the kids. And he was the youngest one out of 6 kids, 6 brothers. The youngest, so he just followed what he has seen in the road and from his mother. Of course, his elder brothers stood by him as much as they could. That's logical and, for me, fair. However, he grew up very, very strong personality, so you couldn't easily talk to him. So that's consistency, loyalty. Consistency is the name of the game currently in all jobs.
Absolutely.
In any kind of job.
I always give the example of farming. A farmer cannot grow and fruit and have a harvest without being consistent. Because if you plant the seeds and then go away and you don't water, forget it. If you start and it's time to pick the fruit and you're not there, forget it. All right?
I just add up on this, if you don't mind. I had to attend an interview, a lady who was interested in sales and marketing. So asking her, what will you give me that no other Natalia will give me to the company, to our colleagues? What will you offer to us? She said to me, not many things, but I will be consistent. I said, that's enough.
Nice.
You start to work with us. She's now with us, 5 years now.
Brilliant.
So consistency is important. It's consistency and inconsistency. 2 letters can get you carried away a lot. An example, a very simple example of food and beverage or culinary experience or rooms division experience that a very, very simple black hair on the bedding
Yeah.
can screw you. I mean, people would like a clean bed, but
Yeah.
a small hair.
Yeah.
That's inconsistency of checking the room on time prior of guest arrival.
Absolutely.
So yes, we want it to be for our guest what he pays to get a value for money.
Yeah.
But inconsistent operation can get you there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's difficult.
It is.
That's what
but it's worth it.
It is.
Yes.
It's a challenge for me.
So going on that, because you're still, it's a family business.
Yes.
Your brother Stavros is in the business.
Yes.
Your sister Nicoletta is
Nicolette,
in the
correct.
business. And some people can't even live in the same household, let alone work together.
Correct.
Tell us how you made that a success. And I'm sure there's times you want to kill each other as well, but over time you've ironed those out. What are some lessons on families? And sometimes it can be the same lessons in business partners working together harmoniously.
I will start by saying that we cannot hide. You're right. Discipline at that level as well, it's hard. So what we decided between us is that I'm not the oldest. I'm the most experienced in the system. They will depend on the design of the product, of the service. And we will depend on each other on particular areas. Having said that, I would like to just make a small window and explain what Dr. Koji, the CEO of Marriott Intercontinental, in 1993, by the time I was studying in Austria, explained to me one day.
You're working at Marriott Hotels
Yes,
there?
I left for I worked for a year. And then I worked also in the Grosvenor House, where somebody else explained to me something, as I will come back to it.
I was with Marriott 4 years. So
Really? So
I'm
Dr.
keen to
Koji,
hear.
Dr. Koji, the first thing he asked me, he said to me, "You want to become a manager?" I said, "Of course, I have hotels, so come with me." He said to me, "Here, the room, the mechanical room." And by that time, 1993, not everything was in automations, you know, boilers working, hot water piping, etc. To me, "What do you see here?" I say, "I see the heart of the hotel." He said to me, "Bravo." So tell me, what are the three most important factors to construct a hotel? I said, "Yeah, now it's going to be difficult, I know." Two of us. By that time, he was wearing his all one uniform, the mechanical dress code. I said, "Location, funds." And then I said, "People." I said to me, "No, forget it." I say, "Okay, come with me now." So that was the first one with Dr. Koji.
Yeah.
And then he told me, "By the way, I heard you shouting to the housekeeper and the banquet manager. Listen, you can kill them as long as it stops here. And you can also kill your wife, to be, as long as you kill her at home." So business is business, my friend, he said to me. So what I want to emphasize by saying this, the lessons we were taught from these famous, important people in the hospitality or our life, like our father, our mother, and the extensive knowledge managers, directors, is that discuss. You can shout in an office. Okay, you have to behave. You have to be smart to people. You have to respect them. But you can shout and fight as much as you want, as long as you're going to make the business better.
Yeah. You resolve it,
bravo.
finish it
Keep
there,
it there.
move
End
on.
of story. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
And this was happening between us in various meetings, of course.
Yeah.
I'm very, very stubborn.
Yeah.
Meaning, I wanted to become as you have dreamed and designed. Small project started. As long as you design something and you agree, you can divert.
Yeah.
You can differentiate a bit. You dilute it, you proceed, and then you see, if it doesn't work, you have to be adaptable at that time.
Absolutely.
An example is that we have bought a building in the center of Liverpool, because you manage also apartments there. And the design and the planning was to implement it as hotel apartments or students areas so they can stay. Because a lot of demand now is in Liverpool for students. But somebody else came there, he wanted to buy it. We don't have to overthink, oh my God, our design, finish. If you can sell it, and you have to sell it by that time, at those circumstances, go ahead.
Yeah.
That's what I always discuss with my sister and my brother.
How do you decide when to sell something? Because I want to talk about Petit Palais.
Okay.
Stunning property. You invested here just before 2020 and did
Correct.
a massive renovation. You've invested in a restaurant also in Platres, in a bakery, in an arena. How do you decide when to buy and when to sell? What are some factors that are important to you?
I would say and admit that the most important factor is the knowledge of hospitality, the micro market research. You don't need to do a lot of studies to decide that Platres has nothing, to go out and dine and wine in the night. So, I mean, you don't need to study here. What you need to study on is what product you're going to be designing as Petit Palais. Because Petit Palais was the name, that's why we didn't change it.
Yeah.
Cleopatra was the name, that's why we didn't change it.
Yeah.
We just diverted Cleopatra Le Bistro with our partner. So we do have shared partnership ownership, but what is most important is the design of the product. Petit Palais, for example. Sun Hotel is a 100-room hotel. The apartments in the UK are one-bedroom apartments for students. Different product. The Petit Palais is a boutique hotel. Some people in the UK, they call it high-end. High-end market with an extensive service, a differentiated menu, culinary experience that is not copied anywhere else in the country. So our most important decision is not when to sell or when to buy. It's how do you design what you have bought or what you have as a property to develop.
Right.
So yeah, we sold because the price was very good to be sold. So the money can be directed into the system, into the group.
Reinvested.
Yeah. So coming up here, discussing with our partners, we decided that we're gonna have a shared partnership, our group with their group. Those who know the architectural plan, those who know the construction plan, and our family that knows the operation, the management, and the consistency with a very low staff turnover.
Tell me about that factor, because hospitality has massive staff turnover. Most people see it as a small industry. You come in, you go back out, just stepping stone. So I noticed that when I came and stayed here, I could tell the staff were here for years. They were experienced. They loved what they did. They did it with smiles. And being in the rural areas, I can't imagine how tough it is to bring good people here. So what are some keys in hiring such a team?
We are around our people. We interview, that's fine. We employ, that's fine. We keep, we train. We hack, we love, we protect. We don't want people to come here to work only for financial. Of course, the financial, especially nowadays, is one of the most important factors because of the style, the type, the level of cost of living in our country is increasing like every country.
Absolutely.
But we need to keep our people, we need to explain to them that we need them permanently, as much as they can. I know it's difficult from Limassol to drive here, but you need to give the extra mile for them so they can give you back. If I could every day walk between them and ask him, how are you today? They tell me, I've got a problem. For example, Michalis, to tell me that has a problem, to prevent it, I would have done it. I wish I could be so good at to prevent everything. I built it now, I designed the HR department with an HR group managers, with the administrator next to her, who are potentially and permanently looking into staff proactive needs. For example, you have platters with the snow. Maybe you can help some people by driving over here with their shifts, changing the shifts, changing the shift of the breakfast, shifting to help them. Be sure they realize it. People look into their pocket. You look into your pocket. We want to hug them, protect them, and make them understand that we need them to stay. Low turnover is the key of consistency. Well, it's low turnover, and then it becomes a habit, and then becomes standardization, and then becomes consistency. I love consistency and staff low turnover. I prefer to have higher payroll than highest turnover. The lower level of background or hospitality academic, like the third countries now coming in to be utilized in various positions and posts, I am very keen on that. What I have apparently supported and indicated to the minister himself last week and yesterday was that try to implement a regulation of LIFO, not the FIFO. For example, according to your regulation of European Union, there is a minimum or a maximum allowance of asylum seekers or third country people coming by that type to stay in your country. Instead of sending out the first ones who come, send out the last ones, because the first who came in on the island, and you keep them somewhere, you feed them, you take care of them, you have given them out in the market, the hospitality, catering, and they have been trained.
They're already getting used to
they get
the
used to the
standards.
System, they get to know. So keep them for us in order to help the system. Don't send those out.
They already have a foundation you can build on.
You get organized with them. You have many examples around you. So come back to HR. We really look into this with our staff. We want them to feel comfortable. That's our vision.
Great. So, I mean, a key part of HR and keeping people is ongoing training.
Yes.
So tell me, is there anything you do with your onboarding and ongoing training?
We do a lot. Onboarding, they have to meet all directors. Day one. If the directors are in Limassol, she or he has to pass from the head offices to get registered, to get his details. They have to meet all directors. Then they need to know who we are, who is who, a group fact sheet, the catering, the Limassol Hotel, the Platz Hotel, the cafe, new projects coming up, the apartments, the management. All system has to be well educated because people coming in, they need to know who's working around them. You know, this is the manager of the catering, this guy is the manager of the housekeeping, and so forth.
Yeah.
And during course, we keep right track with specific reports, induction report, first week induction, first month induction, and then we take it from there.
Brilliant.
According to the position, of course.
Before I go into the catering, because
Okay.
I think that's exciting, one last question about hospitality. You know, being a group for half a century in this industry, growing up in the industry, what are some ways that you implement to create impeccable hospitality, to make guests feel warm, feel welcome, make it feel like a second home? How do you implement that?
For our size of 100 people staff now, employees, or colleagues as I call them in the emails, we pay special attention on personal management presence. What does this really means on the day-to-day? The management presence of the hotel in Platters and the management presence of Hotel Limassol has to act in the same way. They need to meet all guests on arrival and greet them before they go. If they cannot, they need to assign somebody to do that. We want to know if there was something that you can improve before the customer goes. So the people, starting from my brother, my sister, myself, the hotel managers, the executives, the key persons, the rest of the people, they need to meet, greet, and secure that they have been happy. So this will create, as I said, the habit, the consistency, and the customer satisfaction, saying, well, before I went, at least somebody greeted me. And before I went, I explained to him, yes, the heating was not as expected, but again, another window, go back to proactiveness. How do you really check on the rooms before arrivals?
Yeah.
Do not skip anything. Never leave anything at a chance. That's consistency. If you leave something at an assumption, I assumed it will not rain. Yes. I thought she checked it. No, that's no go. It is, let me go and check, record it, report it, and fix it before the guest comes, or let me ask Mr. George or Mr. Andreas, how was your stay? Not well at all. Okay, sir, can I talk to you? No, I'm not happy. Oh yeah, apologize for my card. If you want to tell me something so you can make me improve, this is me, I'm the manager, let me know about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So one of the three hospitality tricks is that meet him, the guest before, meet them.
Yeah.
Meet him, meet her. Anything. We had a banquet the other day, staying Petit Palais. I informed no one. No one. 5 days here. So the last day I came here. I invited her, we sat down at dinner. And we sat down with our manager and she had only one comment. And the manager was very, very sentimental, becoming very sentimental by that time. He thought that the operation was not good enough. I said, don't rush, let's listen first. Listen to the guest. Maybe she or he will tell you everything was perfect. Don't get stressed.
Yeah.
So yes, the only one simple thing, only suggestion. And that's creative approach to a suggestion so you can differentiate more. So she was so pleased. That's an example of consistency.
Absolutely.
Just wanted to share this with you.
Yeah, and just to wrap up on that, it was basically a key is when you build those relationships, when you know who your guests are, they also feel comfortable when there is a problem, a challenge,
Of course.
to come in and share it with you.
Yes.
And I always say to people, problems are an opportunity to make a raving fan.
Passion, consistency, and loyalty.
On the new venture, catering.
Yes, catering.
Detox Me. How did that come about? Why did you move into catering?
We want to.
And healthy catering at that,
We want
right?
to try and detox people. Well, the company exists since 1977. Tobacco Catering.
Yeah.
This company used to do the catering for all the hotels, the imports, the supplies, etc., etc. However, in 2018, 19, and lately 21, we decided to boost it up. We do corporate catering, for example.
It's a big trend. I mean, health,
Yes.
I think, has become a massive exploding industry in the last couple of decades.
We do 4 companies breakfast.
Yeah.
They don't want to have the egg fried. Okay, they have the baked omelette.
Yeah.
But there's so many other ways to detox the recipe and give to somebody something differentiated.
Something
Why?
clean.
Yes. Companies that we serve now, they pay a lot of attention on cleanliness. They want to make sure that their staff is happy.
Yeah.
What do? We do a little extra. You have to decide when you see food coming back, you have to decide, wasn't it that good? Or they did not want to eat that food that day. So you have to talk to the managers, the key persons in the company. So all these things, the ingredients, you have to daily monitor them and make sure they're happy.
Yeah.
And then the introduction to another company comes like every puzzle falls in place.
Absolutely.
They would like to introduce you.
Yeah,
That's why
if they loved what they experienced, of course,
Yes.
word of mouth is the best advertising, isn't it?
word of mouth is the cheapest,
The cheapest and
not
the
the best.
best.
It's the cheapest.
Yeah.
Imagine trying to get 100 people to make catering,
Yeah.
but you have 30 people that are so happy for 3 years.
Yeah.
Of course, they will introduce you.
Yeah. You're also, beyond all the other businesses, you're the chairman of the Cyprus Hotels Association in Limassol.
That's correct.
You've been, I believe, for several years. Tell me, what does the association do? And lead that also, how do you view the future of the tourism industry in Cyprus?
Cyprus Hotels Association is the oldest association existing in Cyprus. Our father was one of the persons who initiated and created this first board. Cyprus Hotels Association, it's an association which represents 315 hotels in Cyprus. There are 2 main associations for hoteliers. This is the one, the rest is 20 hotels. Okay. We are not politicians, sorry, and we are not into politics to explain why. That's another. But Cyprus Hotels Association, you are part of it. You get to open the doors as a common ground. You need to discuss on behalf of hoteliers. You have been trusted the system from hoteliers to discuss with governmental authorities, financial issues, supplementary regulations to be created, trade unions, political decisions. I mean, we don't want to influence politicians. We want to explain to them what do hoteliers want. To keep this big share of financial pie awake, alive.
Yeah.
And it's like the faculty of each university. I mean, here, the hospitality, the hotels, it's so massive. If you consider the numbers of employees, of owners, you're talking a big number. So, Cyprus Hotels Association, I'm chairing Limassol for the last 4 years. We are in close cooperation with the chairman of the Cyprus Hotels Association in Nicosia. We are now very active with Zoom, with Teams. We work continuously to make sure that the Cyprus Hotels Association represents as hoteliers expected, not as other people expect.
Yeah.
315 hotels is a big.
It's a big,
And
big
23
voice.
hotels, 23 people, board members.
Wow.
And once a month, we meet. The agenda is here. We decide, we discuss. Of course, we have a lot of fights between us. We discuss in high volume sometimes, but it's good. It's interesting for me because at the very end, we either say Merry Christmas, we say Happy Easter, we say enjoy the rest of the week, and we come back management part.
Great. And the tourism industry of Cyprus, is there anything you want to mention? Because we're innovating. Gastronomy has gone to new heights. Wine has gone to new heights in Cyprus. Everything, the competition around the world is growing. And I believe the standard of hotels is growing in Cyprus as well. So how do you view the next 10, 15 years in Cyprus, the tourism and hotel industry?
300 days we have sun. Sea, sand. And many other S's. But now, those are the important ones. Small window about Limassol, if you don't mind. This is why they have created, in 1993, the logo and the motto, Limassol for all seasons and reasons. So, hospitality will grow. Tourism is everywhere. Moving from here to Limassol to go for COVID tourism.
Yeah.
It's the definition of the tourism. My part comes from, the academic part comes from hotel business management, hotel management, then the master in the HRM, and the marketing, etc., etc. So I know tourism is a passion, so everybody would like to move around. Limassol offers, Cyprus offers coastal holidays, mountain retreats. The resorts in the mountains now currently expanding. The structure, infrastructure, superstructure. Problem with the staff will slowly catch up. We'll have the problem, but we'll sort it out. We will find ways through, I'm sure. Having said that, this year, 2024, we are back to normal numbers, 4 million people, more than 4 million people.
Wow.
We do have the gap of escape from Larnaca to the invaded part of Cyprus. This is how I call it, and I will be calling it like this.
And my father as well.
So I don't want to apologize, but this is how it's called.
Yeah.
It's an invaded part of Cyprus. We have a gap of 310 to 340,000 people going from Larnaca with Turkish Cyprus registered cars and this minibus. Our government has to be under the political part. However, they must think how to protect this part more. I have been a bit into the discussion between the airlines with the minister. Okay, we have problems, have restrictions, but we have to fight it. We need them to stay here. Imagine kept another, let's say, 300,000 people. Let's say 30% of that would go anyway, but the rest, let them come over here.
Yeah.
You asked before, why did we invest in platters, etc.? You know that in every arrival, in every 100 arrivals in Larnaca airport, only 2 people are declaring interest to visit mountain resorts. And we are still here.
And we've got incredible mountains with history and the
Churches,
resorts,
grounds,
monasteries,
forests, monasteries,
nature walks,
walks, biking, circular rallies, and name it.
Yeah.
Name it. We need to push this higher.
Absolutely.
We need. We should not say only sand, sea, sand. Say forest, say whatever.
Yeah.
Name it, but make them believe to it. There is a lot of potential. A lot. We have only 5 years life here in Platters, Petit Palais, and Cleopatra, 1.5 year. But Platters, Petit Palais already created 28% repeat business.
Fantastic.
Mind you, out of this percent, the 50% of it is Russian speaking. They want to come, they want to relax, they want to stay here.
I think they appreciate the nature and that we've got a gem
Tranquility.
in the mountains. Yeah.
Tranquility.
Yeah. Brilliant. If you could go back to your younger self, Christo,
Yes.
at the beginning of your career in hospitality, 18 years old, 20 years old, what would you advise yourself? What would you advise someone that's now 18, wanting to get into hospitality,
Of course,
wanting to get into business for themselves?
well, I'm not the right person to ask this. Hospitality. Study the hospitality. You are always necessary. Study go to the academic part of hospitality. Go to a good university, a good college. Do it. Train yourself. Hospitality, it's every day, it's hospitality, every day. Yeah. You stop to the petrol station and you buy a coffee. You stop to a bakery and you buy a coffee. You buy a bread and you need to check the price. Make people happy. Do you know what the feeling, how does it feel when somebody say, thank you, that was excellent?
Yeah.
Or gives you a challenge. Well, we did not have the time we expected. That's not the name of the game for us now. We might have some gray areas, but that's not the main part. You feel so happy.
Yeah.
I mean, I would advise younger people to have a thought about it. Have a thought. I wish we could have more colleges and train people and educate people. That's our effort now. We're having a common effort with some governmental authorities. My dream is if we could construct hotel, hospitality, and training schools, and then guarantee to these people their job after they graduate after the 30
And
year.
with practical training.
Yes,
through the
during
studies.
summer and they can make it as a sandwich course.
Absolutely.
1 + 1 + 1, and then to get them into the system, it's interesting.
Yeah.
And the salaries are quite at the higher level now.
I love how you said, even a petrol station and hospitality.
Everywhere.
It's all. I've been going to the same petrol station now for 4 years.
Okay.
Why? Because I went there once, and the owner, Dimitris, in Engomi, Hey, what's your name? George. Hey, I'm Dimitris. How are you today? Every time I go there, big smile. How are you? Happy New Week. Always with a smile. That's why I go back. Because I've gone to
Of
another
course.
100 petrol stations
No, no,
that I
no.
don't get that. No, I would go back there just to get...
But even to restaurants, you can find the same
Absolutely.
attitude in some restaurants.
Absolutely. Cafes, restaurants, hotels, wineries.
I ended up driving with some guests with our off-road car, some repeated guests for fourth year. So they said to me, Christos, last time you promised, I said, okay, I'll go. A couple with a kid. They saw the big car, I drive the off-road car. I said, okay, I'll go. We drove through St. Nikolaos Paphos, through Chelefos bridge, we ended up in Salamiou in Paphos. Taverna. Somebody was cooking there outside. I said, hello, are you open? He said, of course, in Greek.
Yeah.
Σας την ανοιχτή, βέβαια, κάτσε γε μου, take a seat. That was last month. I went there 4 times until now.
Yeah.
Why? Because of what you said.
Exactly.
They welcome. When you have been welcomed like this, that's a nice thing. So hospitality, why not? Why it has to be only foreign exchange and I don't know, these new fashion things coming up. But yeah, I believe in hospitality a lot.
It's a beautiful industry.
I've been trusted this position for the last 10 years and I have to honor it. Consistency is the name of the game. Never leave anything at the chance. And the ethos to our people and the echo of our family business to live through our kids and the third generation to come. We're the second generation now. We don't want to follow people who always digest this or do other things or sell out. If we can keep them, I would like to proceed to the next generation. It's not easy.
Yeah.
It's not easy, but nothing is easy anymore.
Absolutely.
So I like the difficult part, to enjoy it.
Yeah.
And I wish I have more chances and more time to speak. We can speak for hours, days.
I'm sure we'll have a follow-up at some point.
Why not? Why not?
Yeah.
Why not? Why not?
Christos, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Wish you all the
It
best.
was my pleasure. Thank you very much for the honor
Thank you.
and the time spent to prepare this.